Three, two, three, two, one more time. One more time, we're gonna celebrate. Oh yeah, alright, don't stop the dancing. One more time, we're gonna celebrate. Oh yeah, alright. One more time. Hey yo, welcome back to another episode of the Arts Block Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Curry the Third. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Like they say at Carolina Kitchen. I hope y'all all doing well. Y'all all look great, feel great. I feel amazing. I feel amazing. Y'all see me Yankee fitted E. Yankee fitted E is now in full effect. Now that we got the haircut, Yankee fitted E can be back in full effect. Hold on, I'm gonna give y'all a little taste of the cut. All right, I'm gonna give y'all a little taste. Hold on, a little taste. All right, now we back. Now we back. Now we back. Hope y'all doing well. Hope y'all feeling well. Yeah, man, we're here. Any PSAs that I need to get off? None pressing at the moment, except for you to do the normal things that you always do when you tune into the Art Spot podcast. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, make sure you turn on post notifications so you can be notified every time we post a podcast. Make sure that you that's on YouTube. Make sure if you're listening on your favorite podcast platform that you give me a 5-star and a review. That's on any podcast platform. You can just say that this is the greatest podcast you have ever heard in your life, and that will suffice. Listen, the I don't want to. All right, there's changes are happening. Changes are coming. Changes are going to be happening. I don't want to give you guys the sauce yet until I get the okay, and I'm not going to spoil it. But towards the end of the pod, I'm gonna give y'all some type of hints on what's to come, what y'all are going to see. Right? Yeah, big things are happening. All right, pause. All right, what are we talking about today? Timbaland has a new AI artist, which I have some feelings about, but we're going to get there. Where you can only control the output, not the outcome. And our main topic for today, I'm basically going to freestyle it. I'm freestyling it. It's a lot that happened. It's a lot that I went through this week. It's a lot that I saw this week. It's a lot that happened this week. I'm freestyling the main topic of the day. We're gonna get to it though. Just stick with me. Just let me cook. Let me cook. Let me do this. Let me you dig. All right. First thing on the docket, Timberland has a new AI artist named Tata, I believe. Tata is the new AI artist that Timberland has. Now, Eric, what is an AI artist? What does that mean? What does that entail? That's a great question. And I wish that I had some great answers for y'all. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure out how does this work? I have no idea. I just know a very little piece of it, and a very little piece is very important. Y'all ready for this little piece? Here's the little piece, right? So basically, there's somebody who writes these records, who sings a reference to these records. They give Timberland the reference in the writing and whatever, and he gives it to the AI, and the AI does the AI thing to it, right? Sounds simple enough. However, while and usually you'll hear a lot of older people saying this, right? A lot of people 40s, 50s saying, "Oh yeah, AI here, AI the future. AI here, you ain't nothing you can do about it now. AI here, AI is the future. AI is X, Y, and Z." And you hear a lot of older people saying that because a lot of the older people they when they discover new technology, they think it's the greatest thing in the world. Like it's like sliced bread to them. Like it's and and they discover it and they find it and they're like, "Oh man, this is the greatest thing ever." It's here to stay. Nothing. AI is not going away. You're right. It's not. However, it's that mindset and that state of mind that makes people think that they can use AI any type of way, and you can't. While yes, AI is here to stay. While yes, AI is very helpful when it comes to certain things that you have to do. While yes, AI can be very damaging to like the economy and like the ecosystem and all of that stuff, right? AI can be very damaging. This is one of the things that makes AI look crazier than what it should be. People are looking at Timbaland crazier than how they should look at him. He is now using AI instead of using an artist who wrote the records, who, dang, I wish I remember her name. The artist who wrote the records, the artist who sung the records. She made a TikTok about it. Y'all can look up the TikTok. She wrote the records, she sung the records. However, why isn't he just using her as the artist, and why is he using the AI? Now, granted, the AI, quote unquote, might be cheaper, right? You don't have to pay the AI royalties and publishing. You don't have to do X, Y, and Z, but you still have to pay the girl for writing the records anyway. So you might as well just have her be performance on the records too. Also, what does this do for the music industry? How will music look for the next however many years, right? If people can just do this. If, for example, right, my dad, he's about to turn 44. And for his birthday, and for like his birthdays, he throws these big parties at the house, and like for the parties he always like makes flyers, and these flyers have like cool sayings and stuff about it, right? um and he sends them out. He usually has like a song to match like the dope flyer that he has. It's a whole thing. We take like cookouts and celebrations at our house very seriously. Why do I say this? I say this because he was on ChatGPT the other day asking ChatGPT, hey, what's a song that like has the number 44 in it, right? To like kind of represent his birthday. However, ChatGPT, instead of ChatGPT giving him like a list of songs with the number 44, they wrote him a song regarding 44, like the 8 turning 44. Like they wrote him a song, they wrote him a verse, a pre-hook, a hook, another verse, a bridge, and a hook. ChatGPT wrote a record for my dad for his birthday. That's insane. But that's where AI is. And that's brings me back to the question at hand. How does the music industry look now with the knowledge that, hey, AI can make the music industry look this way? Or, hey, things can are there's a huge possibility that things are and will change because AI is going to take this to a whole nother level. There's a high possibility of that. That is very scary. That is a concern that we should keep in the back of our minds. So, what can we do as artists and as consumers when Timbaland says that, hey, I'm making a new AI artist, Tata? Well, the first thing that we can do is just not support it. Timbaland is a legend. He's a great producer. However, we have to let him know, and we have to let anybody else who gets the bright idea, hey, let's use an AI artist to do X, Y, and Z. We have to keep those ideas just ideas. We can't allow those people to execute. We can't have them to think that there's even a glimpse of money when it comes to this. All right? That's number one. Number two, what else can we do? We can just not like, besides not supporting it, we can also vocalize how bad of an idea this is. People on Twitter have already been doing this. When it was first announced, you've seen a lot of the people in the hip hop community, you've seen a lot of artists be like, ew, boo, this sucks, da, 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 right? However, I feel like if more of us vocalize our disapproval of this thing, maybe, just maybe, it won't pop off. Maybe people will say, "Oh, the like, wow, this is an idea and it's efficient in X, Y, and Z." The general public and the audience isn't receptive to it, so how about let's not do it, right? And lastly, listen, man, if I think there's a bigger concern here that we should be looking at, and that's if everybody believed that they could be artists before, if everybody believed that they could create music, if everybody believed that they could have bops, if everybody believed that they could do X, Y, and Z before, they for sure think they can do it now. Without question. I know they think they can do it now because they're like, oh, snap. If I can just have AI sing all of the songs and I just pose as the AI artist, then I could be the biggest artist in the world. No, that's not how this works. That's not how this works. You still there. Listen, man, like I personally don't believe that this is going to work. I don't. I don't think that this is going to work. I don't think that this is going to be efficient. I don't think that this is going to work in the way that most people think it's going to work, right? However, that is my very unprofessional opinion. What I do think is going to work is substance, vulnerability, and honesty from a real human being. Why music is so effective is because there are real people doing real things, conveying real emotions and pain and all of that, right? This isn't that. This isn't real people conveying real things, real emotions, real anything. This is an AI artist who's doing but that is doing what it is told by who it is told to do it by. And you know what? J. Cole actually says something about this in his song Clouds. Now that I'm thinking about it, he brought up this point. He said one day we're going to be take over the whole this whole thing's going to be taken over by AI regimes and we're going to go back thinking what happened to human beings. This is the start of that. This is where this is the if this doesn't get nipped in the bud now, this is where this is going to go. And that is very scary to say, not only for music, but just for life in general. And for all the OGs, right? For all the OGs who was like, um, yeah, man, AI is here to stay. AI ain't going nowhere, X, Y, and Z. AI has been here. AI is not new. AI is just at a new level than it ever was before. AI isn't a new phenomenon that just got popping off. AI is something that is here and something that has been here. Think about it. When you play video games, right? And you playing against the computer, what do you think the computer who what do you think that means? You're playing against the computer. What do you think that means? Come on, guys. Like let's be so for real. All right, next thing on the docket. Listen, man, a lot has happened this week. I watched piece by piece the Pharrell Lego doc um the other day, I believe, and it was really good. I left super inspired. I realized that it doesn't take a lot for me to get inspired. I realized that inspiration comes very easily for me. And I don't know if that's like a gift. I don't know if that's like I don't know what that is, but I realized that inspiration, it doesn't take long for me to be inspired by something or somebody, like by an idea or by anything, right? I am very easy to inspire. I was also very inspired by the BET Awards that happened last night. I'm recording this on Tuesday, by the way. So y'all are seeing this on Wednesday. I'm recording this Tuesday night. I watched the BET Awards last night, and usually when I watch the BET Awards, I am in my seat awaiting large amounts of disappointment. I am just waiting for a large just a shot of disappointment, right to the chin, just straight up disappointment. However, I didn't get that. I got everything but disappointment. I was everything but disappointed for the BET Awards. This was actually, dare I say, a good award show. Hold on, don't fight me. This was, dare I say, one of the best BET Awards in a long time. Let me tell you why I left inspired. Because I figured it out why the BET Award wasn't successful for all them years, and I figured out why it was successful this year. Because they were straying away from the plot. They were straying away from who their target audience was. They were trying to cater younger and younger and younger and younger, which I understand, but I don't think BET really understood that younger and younger and younger doesn't watch BET. There's no reason for the younger and younger and younger to watch BET because BET doesn't have any shows, any TV programming for the younger and younger and younger. So why is the award shows catering to the younger and younger and younger? Why are you keep getting younger in the artists? Why are you keep getting younger in this? Why are you keep getting younger in that? Y'all are losing the plot. Y'all, they were losing the plot for a long time from who the target audience was during the BET Awards, right? But one thing I noticed, bringing back 106 in Park, bringing back the basement freestyles, having Kevin Hart host, having like the 106 in Park like top 10 at the beginning, right? Like all of that stuff was super dope, and it was super nostalgic for the people who actually grew up in that era watching 106 in Park, watching all of their favorite artists on these platforms, watching these things. This was super nostalgic and iconic for them. And I completely get it and understand. And I understand why a lot of the millennials and the late Gen X, or I mean late Gen Xers and millennials, I understand why they love this so much, because they, and probably some of early Gen Z, I understand why they loved this so much, because they grew up on this, because they sat down in front of the TV at whatever o'clock the shows came on after school, and watched and sat and looked at their favorite artists and listened to all these songs and watched the videos, and it brought them back to a nostalgic point in their childhood. And that's all BET did, even down to the legends that they brought up to give tributes to, right? Jamie Foxx, Snoop Dogg, Mariah Carey, why Kurt Franklin. Like, these are the people from the generation that sit and watch BET. Like, and a lot of people, and there's a lesson in this, right? And there's a lesson for me in this also, but for a lot of us, right, who struggle with target audience, who struggle with finding out who is listening, who is watching, who is doing X, Y, and Z, right, who is concentrating on the things that we focus on, who is concentrating on the things that we like, X, Y, and Z, right? For all of those people, the main thing that you have to do is just find who your audience is. Find who your target audience is. Find out who you want to cater your art to. And it's usually super easy, because it's usually to people who are like you. You usually make things for people like, I make this, excuse me. I make this show for young black creatives who love art, who's navigating the world, who's navigating artistic freedom, who's navigating creating, how to create, learning how to create, what to create, all of that stuff, right? That's who my target audience is, right? Young black creatives. That's it. People from the ages of like 18 to about 25, 30. That's my target audience. That's who I'm trying to hit in the net. That's who I'm trying to hit in the head, right? All the time. You might want your target audience to be 35 to 45. You might want your target audience to be 25 to 36. Your target audience might be 50 to 70. Who knows, right? But you have to find out who your target audience is, right? Your demographic might be white. Your demographic might be black. Your demographic might be a Latino. Your demographic might be Asian. Your demographic might be Native American. Your demographic might be whatever, right? Like, you have to narrow it down. BET narrowed it down. They figured out, hey, these people watch the show. This age demographic watched the show. This age demographic grew up on X, Y, and Z. So let's give the age demographic what they want. This is the best public response I've seen for the BET Awards in a minute. A lot of people said that this is the first time that they even finished the BET Awards in years. And guess what? The BET Awards went from 8 to 12. That was a 4-hour award show, and people stayed up to 12. Y'all had the 30 and 40-year-olds staying up till 12 o'clock watching the BET Awards. Y'all had TT and Pop Pop out there and watch up to, okay, BET, I see you. BET might be back. They also might not, because they're program, and they announced 106 in sports. Shout out to Cam and the lady that's helping, that's co-hosting 106 in sports with Cam. But I don't think that's what the people asked for. I'm not gonna lie. I think the people asked for 106 in the park, not 106 in sports. And also, this isn't a fashion podcast, so I don't want to make it into that. But what was Cam Newton wearing at the BET Awards? Can somebody please give me why was Cam Newton wearing that? I don't care what he was wearing, to be honest. Why was he wearing that? He shouldn't have been wearing that. That was a bad choice of outfit. That was he wore a vest with nothing under it. He Cam 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 Newton Cam Newton wore a vest. Y'all, for real. Stop laughing. For real. Be serious. Cam Newton wore a vest with nothing under the vest. And like and his pants stopped at where my socks start. I'm not lying. I wish I was. Like his pants stopped right here. Like where y'all see where my socks start at, that's where his pants stopped. His pants might have stopped higher. Cam, come on, Cam. We need to. I understand you be doing the different looks and all that, but Cam, that was not it, Cam. I need you to go back to the drawing board on that one. I need you to go back on that was a crazy. You know what? Let me mind my business. What else inspired me this week? Like I said, piece. I watched Piece by Pharrell this week. That also inspired me. Right. Another reason that inspired me is because towards that one, I knew the Pharrell journey. Pharrell is one of my inspirations, right? Huge inspiration. I actually have a picture with Pharrell when I was super young. My dream in the future is to retake that picture at a much older age, right? Is to like kind of retake that same picture just much older. But I have a picture with Pharrell, and it's like one of my prized possessions. But I watched Piece by Piece, and I knew like a lot of the Pharrell story and a lot of the NERD stuff, but I didn't know like a lot of the struggles that he was dealing with personally at the time that NERD like stopped, and at the time that like when the Neptunes broke up and all of that stuff, right? I didn't know a lot of the struggles that he was going through and that he was dealing with at the time. However, it's crazy to see how some struggles that you go through, you see your favorite artists go through, and how your favorite artists and like your favorite superstars go through different struggles, and like you will never know, and like you kind of just look over it, and you're like, oh well, they have to do this, they should be doing X, Y, and Z, but it's like a lot of things happening in their personal life that you will never know, and yeah, that was just crazy to me. But if you haven't watched Piece by Piece, watch it. That's not what I'm talking about today. What I'm talking about today is that he said something towards the end of the movie. He was basically talking about growing up in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and he was talking about seeing the talent around his neighborhood and saying that everybody had this talent. Everybody had a certain level of talent. Everybody had a certain level of like a super duper talent, but like he just made it because he had people to invest in his talent, right? He had people to believe in him, and not everybody else had that. I sat with that personally because I always said that DC is a place where you'll find the most talented people in the world, and I will stand on that. I live in New York City, or I go to school in New York City, right? I lived there for most of the year. It's a lot of talent in New York. I still haven't seen people nearly as talented as people in DC. I haven't, and I probably won't see people nearly as talented as anybody in DC. However, the reason why you don't hear too many DC success stories, or why you don't associate too many superstars with DC, because DC has a lot of superstars, because a lot of that stuff isn't natured. I'm gonna say nature isn't nurtured the way it should be, right? And that brings me to this point that I learned watching this movie, or that I came to watching this movie, that everybody has it, but not everybody has it, right? Like everybody has it. The it can be a talent. You might be a bomb actor, you might be a bomb comedian, you might be a bomb musician, you might be a bomb singer, bomb rapper, right? Everybody has it. But there's that other it, right? And that other it can be a sequence of things. I don't know specifically. I'm still trying to figure it out. But not everybody has it. The it to break out of the, okay, you're just a talented person from the city. Like, for example, right? Dave Chappelle, one of DC's superstars, right? Went from somebody who was just went from somebody who just had it to being a superstar having it, right? Same thing with Martin Lawrence, Ari Lennox, Kevin Durant. right? A whole bunch of people who came out of the DMV area, Wale, a lot of the people who came out of the DMV area came out of DC, Maryland, Virginia, Chris Brown, Pusha T, Pharrell, Missy Elliott, Timbaland, right? All of these people had it. All of these people had it, not just it, right? They had it and then they nurtured the it, right? Now, what is the it? The it can be a lot of things. The it can be consistency. It can be determination. It can be drive. It can be confidence. It could be support system. It could be like you saw something that nobody else saw, so your reference point and your view of things is a little different. That's my personal it, right? Like, yeah, I have the talent, I have all of this stuff, right? But I know I'm able to achieve different things and goals because I've seen my parents on the road. I've seen my dad on tour. I've seen my dad perform at the biggest stages. I've seen my mom perform with Questlove and the Roots. I've seen my mom on stage with Alicia Keys, being on her front line, being on her front line on the drums. I've seen it. So my reference point and my view on a lot of things is very different than most people. I've been in rooms with uh Jamie Lawson, right? Where I've taken a Taraji P. Henson masterclass. That's why I started the Arts Block podcast. I went to a performing arts school. I got a chance to see Bradley Cooper and Chris Tucker come to my school my freshman year of high school, right? Like, these are things that I saw with my eyes, so I know that the possibilities for me are endless because I saw endless possibilities growing up. However, a lot of people didn't get that it. A lot of people didn't get that. So, how do we go about life knowing or deciding whether if we have it or we just have it? Well, first thing, one thing's for sure, two things for certain. I don't think there's even a I think it's just right? I think that's something that you know if you have it, or you know if you have it. You know if you're just a guy with talent and you just have X, Y, and Z, or you know if you have the possibility and the ability to make it and to go far and do things. I think that's something that you just know deep down inside, right? Maybe not, maybe it is, maybe it's not, but I just personally believe that's something that you believe deep down inside. That's number one, right? Number two, look at what's around you. Look at your surroundings. Look at who you're hanging around. Look at where the places that you're going. If that's not if the places that you're going, the people that you're hanging around, the things that you're doing, if they're not aligned to the places that you want to go and the things that you want to do in life, then you know where you are. You know if you're just the person that can sing or if you're the person that's going to take the family out the hood. That's another thing, right? And the last thing is I would say about this, right, is that if you don't, if you're sitting at home right now and you're questioning if you're the one, if you have it, if like you have this talent and you don't know like what you're doing with it, figure it out. Try things, do things. Like, you won't know until you try. So if you're sitting at home, you're like, well, I don't know if I'm able to do X, Y, and Z. I don't know if I'm able to get there. Just try. Do something. There's more people out in the world doing nothing than there are doing something. You might as well be one of the people doing something. Might as well. Like there's enough people doing nothing in the world. There's enough people just out here just playing games, just out here trying to chase a fever dream. There's enough people trying to do that. You don't have to be one of them people trying to do that. Just do something. If you don't do anything, like, just dedicate this summer to doing something. I understand it's hot outside. It's nice outside. You want to be outside. You want to be turning up. You want to be doing X, Y, and Z. I understand that. Let's aim for next summer. This summer, let's just do something. For these next 3 months, let's just lock in and doing something. Right? Let's just lock in and growing in these next 3 months. You don't know where 3 to 6 months can get you. You don't know what 6 to 12 months can get you. So let's just figure it out. Let's just try. For these next 3 to 6 to 12 months, let's just try. You feel me? Let's just do it. And who knows? Maybe you'll become international superstar. Maybe you become just known in your city. Maybe you're just at square one. Maybe you're still at square one. At least you tried. Can't ask too much for that. All right. And that kind of leads me to the last topic of the day, right? You control the output, not the outcome. So I was watching this Kevin on Stage video, and he said this exact same thing. He was like, you control how many, like in his instance, he was like, he controls how many videos he puts out. He doesn't control how well the videos do. He said he's been posting for the last 12 years. He's been posting 1 to 3 videos every single day. Oh, if you don't know who Kevin on Stage is, by the way, Kevin on Stage is a comedian. He's been posting a video a day. He's been posting a video a day on his Instagram, on every social media platform, 1 to 3 videos a day, every day for the past 12 years. For the past 12 years. He said only about maybe 6 of them ever went viral. Ever went like super crazy, dumb viral. Maybe only 6. You only control the output, not the outcome. And I don't know who needs to hear that, but I want you to sit on that. You don't know how well anything's going to do. There's no metric to I don't care what type of statistics, I don't care what type of numbers you have. There's no way you can know for a fact how well something is going to do once you upload it, once you put it up, once you give it to the masses. There's no way to know. However, you don't control the outcome, you just control the output. And too many of y'all are letting the outcome determine your output. You are letting the low views determine, like, letting the low views determine how much you do something, right? Listen, if I let the low views of the pod determine how much I pod, I wouldn't be podding. I wouldn't be podding. Like that's just what it is. You can't let the outcome determine the output. For example, I was on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok at Eric Curry the Third. But on TikTok, I was posting a whole bunch of TikToks. A lot of them getting whack view numbers, like 200, 300, 300, 300. I posted a TikTok last night about the BET Awards. It got 3,600 views in one day. 3,600 views in one day. Doing better than like my last 6 like TikToks combined. You don't control the outcome. You can only control the output. Only focus on what you can control. And with that being said, when you know what I can control, the ending of this podcast. Thank y'all so much for tuning into another episode of the Art Spot Podcast. Before we get out of here, though, I will give y'all my Dead or Alive. Now, what is Dead or Alive? Dead or Alive is a segment on the pod where me or the artist gets to choose other artists that we would like to work with that is Dead or Alive. Now, I can choose one artist. I can choose 100 artists. This is my pod. I'm going to do whatever I want. Let me see. You know what? I'm going to choose all my DC legends. I'm going to choose Martin Lawrence. I'm going to choose Dave Chappelle. I'm going to choose Ari Lennox. I'm going to choose Wale. I'm going to choose Johnny Gill. Who else, right? I'm going to choose all my DC legends, all my up-and-coming DC legends, man. Shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to everybody watching this pod. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. My name is Eric Curry III. You can follow me on Instagram at Eric Curry III. You can follow the podcast at Arts Block Podcast. Speaking of, I want to get this out the way now. In the next couple of weeks, 1 to 2 weeks, I will have an announcement regarding the Arts Block Podcast. I'm not going to let you guys know what the announcement is, but in the next 1 to 2 weeks, either next week or week after next, I will be ready to announce something regarding the podcast, right? So yeah. That's that. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of Our Spot Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Curry III. You can follow me on Instagram at Eric Curry III. Follow the podcast at Our Spot Podcast. Listen, if you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, please give me a 5-star and a review. You can just say that this is the greatest podcast you have ever heard in your life, and that will suffice. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you can be notified every time we post a podcast. Remember that artists never die. Do something that you love every single day. Do it with meaning, do it with purpose, do it with passion, do it with love. Remember that God loves you. I love you. I will see y'all when I see y'all, boys. Peace and love. I am out.